Christmas time can be extremely hard for those of us who have aged out of care or who find ourselves in hard places. And I feel like this year especially, a lot of people are in those hard places. So today I just want to share with you my own story of hope. When I was 19 years old, I was in my second year having aged out of foster care. I aged out when I was 18. And at that time, I had these two really excellent, lovely roommates. And at Christmas time, my two really excellent, lovely roommates had a family. And so they went home and I was left alone. And it was really hard. And being left alone was just, it really put me in a dark place. And so the first thing I decided to do was to call the people that I lived with the longest, my foster family that I lived with the longest, who had always expressed that I was part of the family. And honestly, I begged them to help me get a ticket to go home to Eastern Washington, which would have been at that time a $40 ticket. And they responded, you know, it's been a really rough year. If you can find the money, then you're welcome to come for dinner. If not, sorry. And so there was no way that I was gonna have that extra $40. I had $20 to my name, but I also decided that having that feeling that nobody really wanted you around, that I desperately needed to create some Christmas cheer. And when I was riding the bus, I'd seen a couple of miles away that there was a thrift store. And so I decided that I was going to walk to that thrift store and see what I could do with like $10. So I walked, and it was, like I said, it was a couple of miles. It was snowing, and it was a sketchy area. And so I go into the store, and I'm really trying to force myself to be happy. I do think that it's possible to, I do think that one of the keys to success is to choose happiness. And I even knew that back then. So I was trying, and I mean desperately trying to create a happy and festive season. So I'm in the thrift store and I'm looking around, and what I ended up finding was my first snow globe and a little tree that was very similar to this guy. I mean, not really as cute, but it was, you know, just a little tiny tree. And I'm talking to this lady, and I'm just telling her, she's like, so what are you doing for the holiday? And I said, actually, I'm alone. My roommates have left. And I told her just a little bit about my life, but not in that feel sorry for me sort of way, just in that chit-chatty sort of way. And I left the store, said goodbye, left the store, and she comes walking out, or I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden she comes driving down in her little old kind of beat up, I think, car. It was 20 years ago, so bear with me there. And she said, can I give you a ride home? And I said, yes, please. So she drives me home, and I just felt, wow, someone gave me a ride home. That was special. And one of the keys, I think, to finding happiness in the really bad times is to look for, really seek out those moments that are special. And I find that when we do that, we kind of find them everywhere. So anyways, I walk into my house and I turn on the radio, because it was, again, 20 years ago. I turn on the radio and I'm, setting up my little tiny Christmas tree, singing songs, and I'm almost maybe what you would call manic, in that my option is to be very, very happy, or to be so down that I am, ready to exit the earth. I left school at 18. I'm one of those statistics of the kids who age out of foster care, go to college, but can't hack it. And so I left school at 18 by trying to overdose on sleeping tablets. So that idea definitely came through my mind again. And it was just real. It was real. It was like, what's the point when, nobody wants you around, and you just feel so alone, and no matter what it is that you try to do, the person that you try to be, things just never seem to work out. So I'm decorating, and I'm, have a holly jolly Christmas. And there's a knock on my door. And I open the door and there's nobody there. But there is this ginormous, full-sized Christmas tree, real Christmas tree. Smells like pine Christmas tree. And there is this box of those little old wooden ornaments, the little German ornaments, just a huge box of them. And there's lights and there's garland. And I knew it was that lady. And I decorated that tree, and I made that house feel so Christmassy when my roommates got home. And that is something that stuck with me forever. In that Christmas, when I was alone, I looked at that tree and I was reminded that I mattered to someone. There was somebody out there who cared enough to try to bring some joy. And I honestly believe that we are all each other's angels, or we at least all have the potential to be each other's angels. And it really makes me sad because this year we are so consumed with fear that the kindness seems to be a second or a third slot. The other day I went to pick up something. The person was like, you need to step way back there, and you need to put it in the bucket way back there, and the money goes over there, and then you can grab it from, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a hard way to live, just to, to not be connected, to have ourselves covered like this all of the time, and to not see, the warmth that every single person has. And so I want you to feel the warmth. I want you to feel that there is somebody out there, even though it's virtually, there is somebody out there that cares and that is thinking about you, that you matter, and that you have hope that your life can look so, so different in the future. So my tree now has the tradition. It's actually the one behind me. I actually have 2 trees. See, life can change. It could be a whole lot better. But the tree behind me is filled with ornaments from people over the years who have meant something to me. Every time somebody has really impacted me, we've invited them over for a Christmas party where we provide the cider and the hot cocoa and the caroling, and all I ask them to do is bring something to put on the tree. It can be an ornament, it can be a note, whatever it is, and they can they put it on the tree, and they put the date or the name of their family on it. And sometimes it is people that I've literally just met. I have had people that I've seen, at the grocery store who reminded me of the place that I was in. And I've said, hey, you want to come have some Christmas cheer? Come on over. And so this tree is jam-packed with all sorts of ornaments from all sorts of people. It's a big hodgepodge, and I have had people say, oh, that's a little too loud for me. And you know what, I can actually agree. But I also think that that hodgepodge, that different people coming in, is a symbol of real unity. It's a symbol of chaos, and the wildness and the unexpected can come together to make something beautiful. Because every time I look at that tree, I think about all of the different people through all of the years, and I'm talking 20 years. 20 years of people who've touched my life, 20 years of people who've made an impact. And I just want to say, I think that that's one of the lucky things that we have as people who don't have family of our own, as people who start this life of our own sort of volition, that we get to create our own traditions. And I highly encourage you to start your own friendship tree. So guys, I do want to talk about about that hope, I do want to talk about the first Christmas just a little bit, and that those people in that situation, regardless of whether or not you believe in divinity, those people were in such a dark place. They were being taxed kind of out of existence. They had to travel. They had all sorts of government rules on them. It would be easy to feel hopeless, very easy to feel like the world was stacked against them. And it was still a magical night because there was love in this world. And I think that that is something that we could all really gain from this year, is that we can still love each other. You know, we need to kind of take the fear, whatever those fears might be, fears for the future, fears of COVID, whatever that is, and just sort of take it and set it aside and look at people for the true goodness that they are. Look for those little tiny things and look for those great big things. Just take the smiles, just take the kind words, and also be that person with those kind words. The other day I did a podcast and a woman said that she goes around in different stores and she takes little tags that say, "You are special, you are matter," and she sticks them in the pockets of clothes so that when people buy them and they pull out their pockets, they're like, "Oh, look at this note." She says she's spraying little pebbles of goodness, tossing little pebbles of goodness. I hope that we can all do that a lot more. So my hope for you is that wherever it is that you are in this season, that you will just kind of look around and feel that there is hope. See it in other people. See the goodness in other people and celebrate that. Reach out to people, like I always say, you know, reach out to people. If you cannot be physically alone, I want to encourage you to do that. But if you are physically alone, get online. As I've said, I've been there and I know how hard it can be for so many people. So, you know, get online, watch my channel, watch other channels. There's so many people out there who want to be there for you. And guys, there is hope to be had. There's always hope to be had. As long as we have that, we can keep going. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy my tree and my snow globe collection, and I will post again very soon. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone that you think will get something out of this message. All right, guys, bye. Merry Christmas.